Hi English 9, it's Mrs. Sopiarz-Rianda. Can you believe it? We officially had a snow day. But that is the only thing that is not a perk of online learning because we don't get snow days. So you are expected to log in and work in every single class with Jeff Go Virtual, and I am too. I actually have changed some stuff and gave you an extended deadline for your rough draft, made some new stuff available, so I'm busy today too. Take advantage of the cold weather you're staying in, work on your definition essay. As you can see right here, I have extended the due date for the rough drafts. They are due, your outline and rough draft are due by Tuesday. Take advantage, don't use this as a procrastination, and remember your rough draft is really the hard part, your outline and your rough draft, and that's where I give the majority of my feedback. So make sure that you get that in, and also to look at my feedback and use it for your final draft that is due on the 15th. So click on materials and you can kind of see some new things that I added. I added some color coding, a color coding system, and I already did that, but I realized that I didn't identify it for you guys. I thought that you might just figure it out yourselves. But you can see right here what that color system is. Basically, red is past session and it's closed. Yellow means that it's open and still open for late work. Green is go, right? And this means that this is the current session. Blue are future sessions, and then purple are just information folders. And so you can kind of see it's a stoplight. Red is stop, don't work on it, it's closed. Yellow is it's late, but it's still open. And then green is the current session, okay? So clicking back on materials, you can see that the definition essay is green. That's what we're working on. Session 4 is actually a 2-week session. And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons because there are some students that are going in for CMAS testing, and so did want to give you some extra time to work on your definition essays. And for those of you that are already don't need those 2 weeks, you still have them, so that you can also work on any late work that is due in session 6. Late work, spring break is just around the corner, and it actually ends on the 29th. But what I am doing, because remember I give you a week after a session is closed to submit any late work from that unit. Well, that bumps up right into spring break. A week after this session closes or this unit closes is the beginning of spring break. So I just decided to give you the entire next week of spring break to actually work on any late assignments in Unit 6. So again, take advantage. Don't use this as procrastination. Use it to your advantage. So clicking on Unit 6, you can see Session 1 and Session 2 are yellow. They are late but still accepting work. We're still working in Session 3 right now, but I am making Session 4 available to you early. It is due by the 15th. And we do have a lot to do in Session 4, our final session. That's why I'm giving you extra time. In addition to the CMAS testing that many freshmen and 10th graders are doing, I'm also making it available because we do have a lot of work in this session. Your definition essay is worth 150 points, and I want to give you every opportunity to earn to do your best work with this essay. Use this time as an opportunity to catch up with any missing work from Unit 6 if you don't need the extra time. Okay, so here is our list of assignments for the week. Notice I did not give you a suggested schedule for this 2-week session because I'm really leaving it up to you to figure out your schedule for these next 2 weeks. Because again, some people are going in for CMAS testing and some are not. Okay, so here is our essential questions that are guiding all of our work this week. These next 2 weeks, you're going to revise your draft with my feedback, your peer feedback, and you're also going to be doing a lot of editing in this session. You're also going to be writing a works cited page and also doing some self-reflection and evaluation of your own writing. You're going to be evaluating your own writing using the rubric that I'll be using to grade your final draft. Okay, so again, if you're complete with this session, you can use the rest of the time to catch up or rest up before we move on to Unit 7. So the first thing that you're going to focus on is creating a works cited page for your resources. You should have at least 3 sources for this paper, and a high quality essay has sources cited in 2 places, in the body of the paper and in a works cited page. So for information on how to cite your sources in your paper, click on this site. I know many of you are using websites, so I want to draw your attention to scrolling down citing in where'd it go? Keep going. Citing online sources. Okay, so I know many of you are using online sources, so pay special attention to this section. Okay? So I will, don't do that. So in addition to in-text citations, you're also going to be writing a works cited page. And we did this last semester as well. So you should be familiar with this process. It's pretty much the same process. Be sure to follow these steps 1 through 6. Here is an example. Right here, it's the same example, but just a little bit bigger, of what a works cited page should look like, and detailed introduction to how to write a works cited. EasyBib is a great tool to help you write your works cited page, and here's a tutorial video on that. After you're done with your works cited page and in-text citation, you submit your works cited right here with a minimum of 3 sources. Your next step is going to do an initial review of your paper. Hopefully you've let your paper sit for a couple of days. Next, print it out, read it out loud, give it to a friend or family member to review it, and it gives you a really fresh perspective to let the paper breathe for a couple of days. Once you've done that, I want you to review the rubric down here and think about where your paper might score on the rubric. What I want you to do is highlight, underline, or bold which grade what you would grade yourself in each category, and then submit your self-evaluation on the next page. If your paper isn't where you want it, set some priorities for things that you want to fix in this session. Okay? So this is where you would submit your self-evaluation. Next, you're going to focus on colons and how they establish credibility in your writing. When you review your essay for colons, you're going to include at least 1 colon in your final draft, and I want you to highlight where you included your colon. That does sound funny, doesn't it? So be sure to include that in your final draft. Here is a great video tutorial, so be sure to review that as well as the information right here. After you have included the usage of a colon in your writing, next you're going to be using this fantastic writing reviser tool. And I actually use this for my own paper, and it does wonders. So be sure to click right there, and you don't need a password, just the username talk7section. And then you will copy and paste your paper into the SAS Writer Reviser, and it will help you. You can see right here, you can use this arrow, go through each of these categories, and it will help you and provide suggestions on how to modify your paper. Your paper will dramatically improve if you use this tool. Okay? And then it's time for peer revisions. What you need to do with your peer revisions is attach your file into the discussion and explain in your post what you're proud of and what you'd like some help with, and then go in and help at least 1 student revise their paper. You should provide in-depth and thorough feedback on your paper, on the paper. It should be positive as well as concrete idea on how they can improve. Just a response of, hey, this looks great, doesn't cut it. Okay? You can give a positive feedback, but also then a concrete idea on how to improve their paper. Okay? And be sure that everyone gets at least one feedback. Don't give people, peers, three feedbacks. If there's someone who doesn't have a feedback, give that person feedback. It really stinks to submit your paper and not get any feedback. Okay? So be sure to share the love here. And then finally, here's that checklist. You've worked so hard, it's time to wrap it up. Read through your paper one more time, go through this checklist, and then review that rubric one more time before submitting your final draft into turnitin.com. Again, if you were with me last semester, then you should already have an account and you should be all set. If this is your first semester with me, then go through these directions right here to join my class. If you were in Miss Taylor Westwood's class last year, you need to enter my class. So be sure to get this class ID and enroll in my class, not Miss Taylor Westwood's. Okay? And then I will grade all of the essays with the rubric online with turnitin.com, and then I will put the grades into the grade book. Okay? And then you are set. Next session, we're going to actually be jumping into Romeo and Juliet's Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. So if you have any questions at all these next 2 weeks, please let me know. I'm happy to help.